note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here," were the triumphant words spoken by Abraham Lincoln on November 19, 1863, as he addressed a small group of wounded, tired soldiers after the Battle of Gettysburg. This would later be named the Gettysburg Address. This was a pivotal time for the U.S., and this very speech may have been the reason that the North had won the war. At the time, the Union was losing the Civil War. This remarkable, strikingly short address boosted the morale of the troops. I would like to focus today on the effects and the future repercussions of this great speech in history. First, I would like to focus on the circumstances of the speech at the time. Next, I would like to discuss the importance of the speech at the time, and then I would like to analyze how the speech has affected life as we know it today. At the time of November of 1863, we see and find the North is almost reduced to nothing and is crippled at the battle, until the Battle of Gettysburg, which is an overwhelming victory and success for the North. Since it was a pivotal time during the nation's birth, Lincoln understood that we must embrace the foundation of the country, that is the Declaration of Independence, our founding document. He wanted us to realize that the sacrifices of the Civil War were dying for the new birth of freedom, and that unity was the very way the country would inevitably run. Also, Lincoln's inspiration played a huge factor in the circumstances for the speech. Lincoln accepted that the North had won the Battle of Gettysburg in July 1863, and that there had not been that many Union victories, and that so he knew that now was the time to step in, inspire, and boost morale of the troops. This support was becoming increasingly unpopular in the North, though, because the war was dragging on with little signs of North victories. The necessity of the speech is the consideration to the time is that the speech itself was taken as an interpretation of the Declaration of Independence. It influenced American goals for equality, and it represented a government that shall not perish from this earth. He had certain concerns for the current testing of democracy, hoping to prove that the government by the people could succeed. Above all, Lincoln showed that it is only constructive deeds of the living men that sacrifices of the dead can have value. This battle was one of the costliest battles for the South as a whole, while each of the 3 days of the battles of Gettysburg ranked in the top 15 bloodiest battles of the Civil War. The 160,000 troops that were present at Gettysburg, nearly half of them were decimated in the events. We have just discussed first the circumstances that led to the speech and the effects it released. Second, I will discuss the impact that the speech has today. The Civil War Trust and the National Park Services identified unpreserved parcels, which are important to the story of the Americans' greatest battle. The battlefield itself is the best resource for historians and others to learn about the battle. The unique terrain provides an unparalleled learning opportunity, and we must continue to work to preserve this hallowed ground. Also, this speech is the most memorable ever spoken or written in the long history of human events. Many Americans and people of other countries recognize phrases from this address. Immediately after Lincoln delivered his speech on the 19th, teachers and parents started asking their young ones to memorize the speech, and some still even do today. Today we have investigated the factors that have sparked the speech itself and the conditions it was under. Secondly, we discussed the impact that the speech has left in its great wake. And I think that this speech is a great landmark in our nation's history. This left a great impact on the morality of the troops for the Union, and we see that the speech has drastically influenced the war and possibly was even the reason that the Union won the war itself. So we must never forget the unmatched American history that was present at Gettysburg, November 19th, 1863.